Hello, welcome to another video. In this video I am going to talk about Geekbench 5. Geekbench 5 is platform processor benchmark with scoring system that separates single core and multi-core performance and workloads that simulates real-world scenario. I am going to discuss about CPU benchmark. Here is the interface of Geekbench. By this we can calculate CPU benchmark, and from here we can compute benchmark. Here is the result of CPU benchmark for single core. It scores 640, and with multi-core score we got 1556. This is result information about upload date, views and system information, Windows 10 Pro, model, processor information, and single core performance 640, graphics score 863, integer score 569, floating point score is 755. And here is the encryption, AES XTS encryption technique 863, and there is furthermore. And for multi-core score 1556, graphics score is 1868, integer score 1495, and for floating point score 1637, and further there. That's it. And for compute benchmark, our system scored 2842 scores in OpenCL. Here is the result information, here is the system information, and the information about processor, memory information, and here are the categories which are tested and by which we got our score. That's it for compute benchmark. First of all, we are going to differentiate CPU benchmark versus computing benchmark. A CPU benchmark is the result of series of tests designed to measure the performance of a computer. A set of standard measurements are used to compare the performance of different systems using the same methods and circumstances. A typical benchmark test will compare the test system against the standard for the type of CPU used. CPU specification typically measured by benchmark test includes number 1, clock speed, and the second is number of instructions executed, third is registry calls per cycle, and the last one is overall architecture efficiency factor. In computing, a benchmark is the act of running a computer program, a set of program or other operations in order to assess the relative performance of an object, normally by running a number of standard tests and trials against it. I have selected 5 categories from each CPU benchmark, and image compression is one of them. Image compression is an application of data compression that encodes the original image with few bits. The objective of image compression is to reduce the redundancy of the image and to store or transmit data in an efficient form. And the second one is, which I am going to explain, is HTML5. HTML5 is the latest evolution of the standard that defines HTML. The term represents two different concepts. It is a new version of language HTML with new elements, attributes and behaviors, and a larger set of technologies that allow the building of more diverse and powerful websites and web applications. This set is sometimes called HTML5 and friends, and often shortened to just HTML5. SQLite. SQLite is a relational database management system, contains a C library In contrast to many other database management systems, SQLite is not a client-server database engine. Rather, it is embedded into the end program. SQLite is popular choice as embedded database software for local and client storage in application software such as web browsers. It is arguably the most widely deployed database engine, as it is used today by several widespread browsers, operating system, and embedded systems such as mobile phone and among others. Image in painting. Image in painting is a conservation process where damaged or missing part of an artwork are present filled into present a complete image. This process can be applied to both physical and digital art mediums such as oil or acrylic painting, chemical photographic prints, three-dimensional sculpture, or digital images and videos. Structure from motion. Structure from motion is a photogrammetric range imaging technique for estimating three-dimensional structures from two-dimensional image sequences that may be coupled with local motion signal. It is studied in the field of computer vision and visual perception. Now I am going to explain about the 5 software categories on which computing benchmark measures the performance. Sobel. The Sobel operator or Sobel filter is used in image processing and computer vision, particularly within edge detection algorithm, where it creates an image emphasizing edges. Canny. Canny edge detector is an edge detection operator that uses a multi-stage algorithm to detect a wide range of edges in images. It was developed by John F. Canny in 1986. Canny also produced a computational theory of edge detection explaining why the technique works. Stereo matching. Computer stereo vision is the extraction of 3D information from digital images such as those obtained by a CCD camera by comparing information about a scene from two vantage points. 3D information can be extracted by examining the relative position of objects in two panels. Feature matching. In image processing, point feature matching is an effective method to detect a specified target in a cluttered scene. This method detects single objects rather than multiple objects. For instance, by using this method, one can recognize one specific person in a cluttered scene, but not any other person. Face detection. Face detection is a computer technology being used in a variety of applications that identifies human faces in digital images. Face detection also refers to psychological process by which humans locate and attend to face in the visual scene. That's it for computing benchmark. AES-XTS. This is encryption technique and its performance is measured in gigabytes per second. And text compression, this is text is in megabytes and it's measured in megabytes. And image compression, its unit is in megapixels per second. Navigation MTE per second, and I am not sure about MTE. HTML5K elements per second. Elements tags are considered as element. SQLite K rows per second. Rows, as we all know, database there are different rows. Data is stored in rows. So here performance measure is rows per second and megapixel. PDF rendering megapixel per second. Text rendering kilobyte per second. CLang its unit is in K line per second. CLang is a compiler front end for C and C++, and camera images per second and body physics K pair, and I am not sure what pairs. Rigid body physics is in FPS frames per second. Gaussian blur megapixel per second, as we are working with pixels. Face detection, as we are working on images, so here is the images per second. Horizon detection megapixel, and speech recognition is measured in words per second, like how many words the machine is detecting or recognizing. And for software it's gigapixel, megapixel, and then you about any new unit. GFlops, SFFT, GFlop like gigaflops used to measure the performance of the system, and that's it.